Internal conflict often makes up the most interesting aspect of the more memorable characters in literature. What exactly is it though? Internal conflict is in literature is a struggle within a character, which may involve the difficulty or inability to reconcile opposing desires, emotions, or beliefs. It can take the form of a crisis of identity, morality, or belief. Let's take the example of Lady Macbeth from Shakespeare's Macbeth. At the beginning of the play, she seems absolutely resolute and even enthusiastic about killing King Duncan in his sleep in order to help her husband secure the Scottish throne. You see, at the time, King Duncan was King of Scotland, and the only way Macbeth could get that throne is to get rid of him or pray for early death through a heart attack or something. However, her enthusiasm and hyperbolic language mask her internal conflict. She is at heart a decent individual who is fully aware of the morally repugnant nature of the deed that she is about to embark on. We see a glimpse of her hesitancy and morality when she says in Act 1, Scene 7 during a soliloquy, I laid the daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. In the quote above, Lady Macbeth is worrying about whether or not Macbeth would miss the daggers she planted in the room to carry out the murder of King Duncan and frame a, a pair of unsuspecting grooms with that murder. In the process, she admits that she doesn't have the heart to kill Duncan herself because he resembled her father as he slept. This is a far cry from asking evil spirits to fill her from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty, as she does in Act 1, Scene 5. Lady Macbeth is unfortunately unable to resolve the gap between the evil deed that she aids in committing and her own moral conscience. It drives her insane, and she ends up committing suicide before the play ends. In this article, I look at another character from Shakespeare. This time it's Othello and how internal conflict drove him also to a tragic downfall. Othello is another character from a Shakespearean tragedy that exemplifies the internal conflict. Unfortunately, we must offer you yet again another example of a Shakespearean character whose story ends in suicide due to this irreconcilable internal conflict. Othello is a Moorish general in Venice, and he has been fooled by his jealous right hand man Iago into believing that his innocent wife Desdemona is cheating on him with his officer Cassio. He ends up smothering Desdemona to death in jealousy and rage. However, he quickly regrets it after realizing that he has been tricked by Iago. Here is his speech from Act 5, Scene 2, before Othello ends his own life. It's a rather very famous speech. Then you must speak of one that loved not wisely but too well, of one not easily jealous but being wrought, perplexed in the extreme, of one whose hand, like the base Indian threw a pearl away, reached on all his tribe, of one whose subdued eyes, albeit unused to the melting mood, drop tears as fast as the Arabian trees their medicinable gum. Set you down this, and say besides that in Aleppo once, where a malignant and turbaned Turk beat a Venetian and traduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog and smote him thus. Now, what just happened there? Othello is giving a speech just before he kills himself. He compares himself in an analogy to the base Indian who throws away a pearl richer than all his tribe. The pearl in question, of course, is Desdemona. This is a curious thing to say, as Othello is a Moor or a black person living in a dominant white Venetian or Christian society. This reveals to us that Othello was never at ease in Venetian society. He is a mercenary hired for his military services by the Venetian state. He has earned honor, status, and wealth in this role. However, he still feels insecure as he is a Moor. one who was before the enemy of this Venetian state, who now fights on behalf of that very same state. A Moor in that period of time could have meant a person of dark skin, a black person. It could also mean a person who was a Muslim or formerly Muslim who became a Christian. In the case of Othello, it's clear that he is a black person or a black man. In working for the Venetian state, he now wholly identifies with its values and beliefs and devalues his past life or tribe as less than what he sees as his most prized possession from Venetian society, his white and Christian wife Desdemona. His killing of the innocent Desdemona makes him now an enemy of the state, leading to the loss of his hard won and cherished identity as a trusted protector of Venice. His crime provides Othello with a unique opportunity to dramatize this identity crisis, the irreconcilable inner conflict between his past life as an enemy of the state and his present role as its protector. He cast himself as both a malignant and turbaned Turk who beats a Venetian and the hand who smote that Turk. These two dwelling identities can only be reconciled in death.